What's up, everybody? It's me, man, Ken, 3 times. And today, we are basically making a video discussing what I found in the community that I think needs to change. Now, there's a lot of things that I need to change as an individual, like my addictions, my bad habits, like the things I consume and the things that I focus on are sometimes away from Allah and away from the Prophet Sunnah. And so like I have my issues internally, right? But then there's the community issues that I'd like to address and stuff. So there's a change I'd like to see within myself, and there's a change I'd like to see within the community, if that makes sense. So recently I've been talking a lot about the changes I'd like to see in myself. Today I want to talk about a change I'd like to see in the Islamic community, and that is for us to leave jinns alone. I feel like jinn stories, like these campfire jinn stories and stuff, are like way too oversaturated and way too um like added and way too celebrated in our community and stuff. For example, the Muhammadan Way, which is a Sufi YouTube channel, their most viewed video is a video of them supposedly interviewing a Muslim jinn. You know, like you can't even hear jinns. How are you gonna tell me that you got an interview with one of them? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I understand what you're about to tell me. Like, oh, these jinn stories like help influence our iman, our faith, because they basically show us the unseen is real. But I have a quote for you guys right here. Hold up, I have a quote for you guys right here. This quote is from Rumi, Jalal al-Din Rumi, and he says that everyone sees the unseen in proportion to the clarity of their heart. So basically, everyone sees things that are unseen, whether it's people's ruh, or it's the light that comes from the brightly illuminated chapters of the Quran, or the light that comes from you when you read Surah Kaf on a Friday and stuff, or the light on your face when you pray Fajr and stuff. Everyone sees the unseen and stuff in proportion to the clarity of their heart, right? That's what Rumi is saying. And I think that we should focus, if we're focusing on the unseen, we should focus on the positive aspects of the unseen. Like light, and like spirit and love. And like my teacher was telling me that the way Allah interacts with us is He puts love in our heart, He puts faith in our heart, He puts taqwa, like God consciousness in our heart. He puts shame in our heart whenever we commit a sin, So He puts things in our hearts and stuff. That's like should be like an unseen, like the unseen, like being colliding with the seen world. Like that is the thing that we should be like documenting and telling people's experiences about. We should be telling our brothers and sisters, hey, look what I read in the Quran today. It really spoke to me and it really resonated with me. It really does feel like Allah's talking to me when I read the Quran, because that's the purpose of the Quran. The Quran is like intimate conversation with Allah and humanity. If you want to talk to Allah, read the Quran. If you want to speak to Allah, make dua, make supplication. I'm not the best Muslim, but I could tell you that those two ways of communication to Allah, because I learned that from alim, and I learned that from scholars, and I learned that from just like researching, doing my research and stuff. Basically, guys, you want to focus on the good unseen. You don't want to focus on the bad unseen. Like jinns. I know jinns can be good and stuff, but normally it's not a good thing for us to interact with jinns. There's a verse in the Quran that said that humans seek refuge in the jinns, and that only increased them in worrisome, and only increased them in burden. So interacting with jinns is, for the most part, forbidden. It's haram, So why would you want to be attracted or interested in something that if Allah wanted us to have a relationship with these people, if Allah wanted us to interact with these people, He would have mentioned how to have a relationship with them. He would have mentioned how to rituals and how to like speak to them. He would have mentioned rituals and how to interact with them. He would have mentioned rituals and how to be with them in the Quran and in the Sunnah. But He left that out. He just explained that, hey, these are groups of people like you guys who have free will, and so you too, humans and jinns, are known as the heavy ones. Now, a lot of like interpretations say that the reason why we're called the heavy ones is because we bear the burden of responsibility of our actions. So that is very heavy. The responsibility of your actions is a very heavy thing. So I just wanted to make this quick, like sweet, short but sweet video to basically say that we should leave jinns alone. We should leave those unseen beings in the unseen. We should not be talking about, I had this experience with a jinn in the bathroom. I had this experience with a jinn when I did sihr. I had this experience with a jinn when I was reading salah. I had this experience with a jinn. Like, keep that to yourself. You know what unseen experiences you should do? I had this experience of Allah. Not just Allah, God Himself. I had experience of Allah. He put this in my heart. I felt this. For example, like the other day, I didn't feel like praying Fajr, but something in my heart told me to like get out of bed and go pray Fajr. Who do you think put that in my heart? Allah. You know, I would much rather even us hear about dreams. Like, I'd much rather us talk about dreams than hear us talk about jinns. You know, because there's a lot of hadiths about dreams that like good dreams are from Allah and good dreams are 1/46 of what's left of prophecy, you know. So I would much rather us hear about dreams and again, what's in our heart, or what's revealed to us in the Quran, or what is like, you know, even there's some suggestions that, you know, there are angels that speak goodness into our hearts and stuff. You know how there's demons and stuff, there's shayateen that whisper evil into our hearts, that whisper waswas, that's called, whisper evil into our heart. There is some certain narrations that say that there are angels on the flip side that whisper goodness into our heart. You know, the nafs, our self, whispers evil into our heart, but the ruh, the spirit, also whispers good into our heart. You know, it whispers good into our heart on the flip side, you know. So I would much rather like to hear people talking about their experience with Malaika talking good and speaking good into their hearts and stuff, and the ruh speaking good into their hearts, because that is the unseen that we need to be focusing on. Again, if the jinn were an unseen that we would like to focus on, or we need to focus on, then Allah would say you are obliged to interact and speak with the jinn. But we're forbidden to speak and interact with the jinn. You know, it's haram. You know, so I feel like although these jinn stories may seem fun, it may seem entertaining to you guys, it may seem like very like intriguing to you guys, like, oh, jinns, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really wanted to know about that. As somebody who has an experience of jinn, because I used to be a mushrik, I used to be an idolater. I used to be a practicer of magic and stuff. I had experience with jinns. I'm telling you guys, it's not as great as you think it is. It's very, very scary. It's very, very terrible. You get convinced of some of the worst things ever that you didn't do. You get accused of terrible things because shayateen are accusers. Evil jinns are accusers, and they'll put images in your head. They'll put ideas in your head of bad things that you didn't do and stuff like that. Like it is not what you'd like to have an experience with. As somebody who had experiences myself, you know. So I wanted to tell you guys that don't be like me. Don't make the same mistakes as me and do sihr and interact with jinns and stuff. Don't make those mistakes. I've since then like made tons of istighfar and tons of tawbah, because I genuinely feel bad about the fact that I left the fold of Islam in my teenage years, you know. So I mean, like, as somebody who's learned from his mistakes and somebody who repented and turned back to Allah and stuff, I want to let you guys know that we should leave these beings alone. There are tons of magical systems that can have you interact with jinns. There's Christian magic systems. There's Jewish magic systems. There's even Islamic magic systems like the Shams al Marif and stuff, and the Picatrix, that basically like have you, that make you do like numerological magic and astro magic. Don't concern yourself with these things, guys. Again, as somebody who used to indulge in it a lot, it's not worth it. You just get harmed in the end. You know, they don't benefit you in any way. They just harm you. You know, why do you want harm to come in your life? Why are we so attracted to harm? You know, just because it's unseen, and just because it's unseen, and just because it's like it has this like fragrance of mysticism in it. You know, notice I said fragrance of mysticism and not actual mysticism, because actual mysticism is connecting with Allah and connecting with His divine presence, His sakina, His tranquility. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. You know, like we as a collective community need to stay away from these stories, because they bring nothing but bad omens to us, bad things to us, you know. And we want to focus on the good. If you like unseen things, just listen to what Rumi said. Everyone sees the unseen in accordance to what's in their heart, what's in proportion to their heart. If you want to focus on the good unseen, if you want to focus on the unseen, focus on the good things. Focus on the Malaika, focus on Allah, focus on your spirit, your ruh. Do not focus on jinns and devils and shaitan and stuff. These things of the unseen are not for us. It's explicitly said it's not for us. You know, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't be like me. Do not practice sihr. It's very bad for you. Assalamu alaikum.